Hey everybody, welcome back to another opening video. In this one, we are not actually going to be doing an opening as we don't have anything to open right now because the new Scarlet and Violet Pokemon TCG set, the product, the booster boxes, the Elite Trainer boxes and all that officially gets released this upcoming Friday. And yeah, so we don't have access to that yet. And that's why there isn't an opening for that today. But I do have something that'll kind of make up for it. And we're going to be going over my pre-release deck that I used this past Friday at one of the stores that I go to, Top Deck Games, and yeah, I was pretty happy with it. I felt that the whole deck was pretty solid from the build and battle kit that I got, and I ended up going 2-1, 2 wins, 1 loss, and won the first 2 rounds, lost the last one, and I didn't think I did too bad, but once again, with pre-releases, luck is a huge factor. So, yeah, I guess, without further ado, let's get into the deck profile, if you will. So we have 2 Vivillon, 2 Spupa, 3 Spupa, 3 Scatterbug. We have 2 Dondozo, and then 3 Tatsugiri. We also have a Bennett EX with 2 Shuppet. And then lastly, 2 Reveroom, and then 2 Vroom that we got. And that is all for our Pokemon here. This is an absolute beast of a setup right now. For the deck that I got, right? I couldn't have asked for anything better. Well, actually, that's a lie. I would have liked to have a 4th Tatsugiri in here. That would have been super. But we got all usable Pokemon. We got a 2/2 Reveroom. Like, that was huge, right? Getting that out consistently every game, right? Vivillon. Right, that was probably the MVP of the whole tournament, right? It's so good. Both attacks are good. 2 for 110, or the first attack 50 in a possible special condition, right? But yeah, the whole point of the Vivillon, use Scatterbug, right? An adaptive evolution there. It can evolve the first turn, right? Same thing with the Spupa, you evolve it, right? And then you go to Vivillon here with Bug Buzz there for 110, or Miracle Powder for 50 for a grass. Flip coin if heads, choose a special condition. Your opponent's active is now affected by that special condition. This is so huge because if your opponent only starts with 1 Pokemon, right, you have the ability to donk them, providing they have 70 hit points or less, because you can just declare burn, right? And you declare burn, that means they automatically take an extra 2 damage counters, and then they have to flip a coin to see if they're not burned. But if they don't get to do that if they're knocked out. Makes sense. So that's absolutely huge. And it's a great staller as well. If you're near a bad spot, right, and he needs a 2-hit KO something, you can just use Miracle Powder to declare Paralyze, and then they just can't leave the active unless they switch out, right? And then you just 2-hit KO them. So probably the best card in the whole tournament is Vivillon, and that's probably in everybody's deck. So the next one is obviously the Tatsugiri and Dondozo, right? So Tatsugiri, missing place there, 2 basic waters, which is really good. Curl Up is actually not too bad as well. If you start with it, right, and you want to just discard it, you can just use curl up, do 30, put it back in your hand, and then you can research it off or ultra ball it off the following turn. Right, and then Dondoza there is, there for obviously the best attack, has release rage, 50 for each Tatsugiri in your discard pile for 2 colorless. So if you used miss in place, right, then you have it charged up, and then you can be dealing that 100, 150. I know we can do 200, but we don't have the 4th Tatsugiri, so our max is 150 for this, which is actually still really good. Heavy splash there if you're in a tight spot as well. You can do that 120 instead if you don't have any Tatsugiris in your discard pile. Probably my favorite part here of the deck was drafting a 2-1 Bennett line. Right, this is crazy. This is actually my second Bennett that I've pulled in 5 pre-releases. Yeah, so Shuppet there is pretty okay. Enveloping Shadow for 10. Flip coin of heads during your opponent's next turn. They can't play any item cards from their hand, so that's pretty good. And then Bennett EX, right? So I pulled a lot of things. I pulled Satitan, I pulled Houndoom, right? Like a 1-1 line of each. And I ultimately went with Bennett just because, I pulled 2 Shuppets. And then Bennett there, 250 HP, right? Which is absolutely massive. And then its attack there, Everlasting Darkness for 30 during your opponent's next turn. They can't play any item cards from their hands. It's a good turn, your turn 2 card, right? And then you have that attack Poltergeist there, reprint of Gengar from I believe Stormfront, and I think there's a bunch of other ones in between that, right? And it does 60 damage for each trainer card in your opponent's hand, right? And so that's not just item cards, it's supporter cards, that's stadium cards, that's tool cards, right? That's everything. That whole subclass, the whole trainer subclass at 60 for each. So you're definitely capable of dealing a lot of one-hit KOs. When they see this, they're probably going to try and shrink their hand down with things like Ultra Ball, right, to discard those trainers. But they don't want to do that depending on how much advantage they have. If they don't have any advantage, right, they're going to probably want to hold off on them or, use them up, right, while they can. So, yeah, so that's really cool. And then the Reverum line. So I got 2 different Varooms here, right? And then obviously the Reverum. So this one here I think is the better Varoom, right? Because it's got the attack there, poison gas, and then the retreat cost is 1. Right? The other Varoom though has 80 HP, can deal a possible 60. So that's more of a offensive and defensive, right? The other one's just more of a speedy one. And then Reverum is obviously there to use that rumbling engine ability to discard an energy card to draw until you have 6 cards in your hand. So makes your deck just really consistent, and that's really awesome. And then lastly, the trainer cards. Jock, Searcher 2 Evolution. Nemina, draw 3 cards. Professor's Research, discard your hand, draw 7. Team Star Grunt, this is actually a really good card. Put an energy card attached to your opponent's active on top of their deck. So a really good card. Mezagoza, this card was like an absolute, it was terrible. It was literally my kryptonite here. I flipped tails like every time, even when my opponent played one. Like I think I rolled like 4 5s in a row. Like it was terrible. Nestball, more Pokemon Search. Pokeball, more Pokemon Search. A Switch, which actually came in pretty handy. And then lastly, an Ultra Ball, so 3 balls. And that was awesome. And then, lastly, the energy cards, right? So the energy cards are, pretty obvious. If you seen the types that we had in the deck, right? You would obviously know. We play 5 water for Dondozo, 3 grass, right? Just because Vivillon only requires 1 grass, right? And whereas water is way better with Tatsugiri and Dondozo. And then 3 psychic, I know, right? We didn't need to play 3 psychic, right? I could probably opted for 2 psychic and maybe a metal. That way I could have maybe used Reverum if needed. But, I feel like this is actually pretty good. 11 energy I think is the best number on a deck. But, going 20, 10, 10, 20 Pokemon, 10 trainers, 10 energy, you can never go wrong with that. So, and that is the Scarlet and Violet pre-release deck that I went 2-1 with. Is pretty awesome. And then to finish, other than the Bennett EX and the Reverum promo that I got a Meowscarado holo, an Annihilate holo, an Armor Rouge holo, 2 Dondozo holo, and lastly a Miraidon EX. That's my 3rd one. So now I can build the deck, and yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with it. So, I feel like I've gotten most of the core cards, the good core cards from the set. Actually, I'm missing the Electro Gun thing, right? I only got like 1 copy of that, and I need more Beach Court, and I've gotten no Arven, so the trainer cards are what I'm looking for from the upcoming product that I'm going to be getting. So, but there you go, everybody. Once again, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, this is opening Sunday. It's deck profile today instead. But yeah, opening Sunday every Sunday, and then gameplay Wednesdays and deck profile Friday. So there you go. And yeah, let me know what you think. Leave a comment, like the video, subscribe, all that junk. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and once again, see you in the next video.